So my name is Dora. I'm from Italy, from Milano, from a technical university. Politecnico di Milano was founded in 1863. For a technical university, we are quite old. We are the largest technical university in Italy. We have a total of roughly 40,000 students. Most of our students are in engineering. We are considered among the top 100 technical universities. We have 36 programs in English out of 41 at the master level, and this is quite exceptional in Italy. We had a very strong growth that was actually solicited by our internationalization plan and strategy in the numbers of degree-seeking students. Just after the change to the Bologna system, in 2003-2004, we had only 2% international students enrolled, and it was the same number that we had in 1863. So the rector launched an internationalization program that would have made Politecnico more attractive for international students. So we'll first look at our competitors, and then we compare ourselves in Europe. We set some objectives that were very clear as a goal, a percentage of 10% international students. At the master level, we were starting from 2%, so it was quite ambitious at that time. So in 2005-2006, the first 7 degree programs at the master level completely taught in English started. But it was very important that at that time, the rector had a very clear vision of creating the administrative infrastructure with services that were tailor-made for international students. I was in charge of international relations, and I had the opportunity to hire people for creating the International Marketing Office and the International Admissions Office. We started without any real support from the ministry, so we turned to the territory, to companies and to Chamber of Commerce to ask for scholarships to support this initiative, because we knew that scholarships would have been fundamental to attract international students. I'm coming to the issue of why teaching in English, reflecting on the fact that these are the last data from the OECD. The ones that receive more international students from abroad in percentage. The Anglo-Saxon world is actually at the top of OECD countries. Most of these countries, they're actually teaching in English. The Netherlands, Finland, Denmark, Sweden, those small countries had to somehow decide to switch to English in order to be attractive to international students. So the main reason to undergo this process, I would say, were these 2 boxes. So what we wanted to do is to bring in the international opportunities on campus by having more international students studying with our students. This was really fundamental for their career, and we also understood that we would have run the risk to lose the best students if we wouldn't have done so. Going back to the international marketing strategy, for us it was developing student competence and promoting the quality of our research and our education by, let's say, enhancing our international reputation. Scholarships are actually an extremely effective marketing tool. Instead of paying for an advert, you can promote yourself on different websites only by saying that you offer scholarships to international students. But the results have to be announced before the student comes. Since the beginning, we've had 12, let's say, countries or geographic areas where we decided to focus our efforts in terms of promotion and marketing. And every time we are measuring, calculating if our efforts turned into a result by looking at the number of the students that enrolled from a country, that applied, and that got admitted. So the administrative infrastructure that was created in 2005 from scratch was this. marketing, admission, and welcome desks. The idea of having a marketing office was completely new for a public university in Italy in 2005. Still nowadays, there are very few universities that have an international marketing office. We are in charge of deciding which kind of investment we make for the whole institution. Something that is important to consider is that the student, that was shown also by Keys, has a life cycle that goes from his initial interest to being an alumnus. We tried to connect the different databases that our university had already in place for managing students. And we added specific CRM for marketing and admission, which was developed internally. We have a lot of very interesting tools that help us in this relation to students. I would like to mention that marketing for us means a different series of channels through which we promote our university, which are more or less indicated here. Agents are very important for us, mostly because we couldn't cover so many markets without agents. Of course, it's very difficult to select good agents, so you really need to be very clear on values. You must sign a contract with an agent, and for that, it's important to seek for the legal advice of your legal office, but you have really to clear your ethical standards. And you have to train them, to invite them over, to let them see your university, understand your culture. We're very much focused on quality. It's a kind of intercultural assistant. International admissions has been created at the same time of the marketing office, and this has been fundamental. They share the same objectives, and we have decided to develop in-house an online application system that is shared by the office and the professors. And we decided that we have one application for all master programs. The admissions office is doing a technical evaluation, and the academics, in the end, take a decision on admission. This gives you an idea. So we are using an algorithm where we give different ways to the results, the GPA. It's not recognition. The hard fact should be here, and the soft aspect should be, in the end, considered after looking at the content of the course by the academics. All this has been decided together with the academics. And this has been also a very important success factor. When we talk about marketing, what we call the yield is a limited number of enrolled students. So it's very important to have a very smooth and easy process also in order not to lose students. Once students have registered, they really need to have a positive experience in our university. It's fundamental, and then you deliver what you promise. And that could be also helped by organizing integration events with your own students. It's important that they have created a link with our country. What I consider success factor is the fact that marketing and admission have been working as one group. We try to think of an evaluation system that would reflect our values and our curriculum and our way of assessing students. In this case, it was very clear that my office would have been in charge of implementing this strategy, whereas the academics were in charge of the strategy, to which country we would have gone. So it has been very much a shared commitment. In 2012, my rector wanted to do a further step. We had reached our goals, an international university attracting very good students, domestic and international, and providing good services. So these were the targets for, let's say, 2012, 2014. international students should be distributed among all programs. And the idea of the rector was that we would have started by teaching only in English at the master level. We started with 7 master taught programs at the beginning, and this year we are starting the academic year with 35 degree programs completely taught in English, of which 23 are only in English. And these are the growth in terms of percentage of students at the master level. So we were here, 1.9. We gradually grow until last year we reached 21.6%. At the beginning, we had a lot of scholarship. Then gradually, the scholarship remained stable. But the number of students increased. So of course, it's more competitive now, but this was exactly what we wanted. Internationalization at home is what actually has happened in our university in these 10 years, is for sure a very strong impact on every service that you provide as a university. You will have to think that your students are not only of your nationality, so you should explain things differently without taking for granted. And of course, it cannot happen if there is not a very strong commitment from the top. I mean, it's not a bottom-up kind of process that can come from, some enthusiastic people in international affairs. It has to be a decision of the top management because there are so many obstacles on the way that you really need your rector and your, deans to be committed because it's a completely change in the mentality of the institution. It's not just offering some courses in English or having some exchange students. It's really going from being a national university to an international university. Okay, we offer Italian courses for free to international students, but 50% drop out, and this is a pity because then they will actually need the language in order to have a real, true cultural experience. There could be one solution, that is to give some credits in the curriculum for language credits. We had since the beginning 5 programs that were only taught in English, so we actually experimented. And these programs were much more effective, both for international and national students than the 2 parallel ones. And the fact that the professor had an international audience meant that he was, making efforts to bring more international cases. And the Italian students were very happy to have this. First, we gave incentives in terms of faculty position, because in parallel to this, we also hiring more visiting professors. But as I told you, there were professors that didn't agree, not because they didn't know the language, but they didn't agree in principle. You cannot convince everybody. I think this is also the lesson. The international marketing strategy has to be part of a wider strategy. So we picked the area where the university decided we are interested in developing all kinds of cooperation, not only attracting international students, but partnerships. Actually, if you go to our website, you will see that we have 10 delegates of the rector for international relations, and those areas are exactly the same areas where we targeted our marketing efforts. Actually, we do have something like this in the PhD programs. So we are only providing a platform, but they do work separately. So I think that the solution is always providing a service, not imposing, but providing a service. I mean, the staff in a university is providing services.